what's going on? This is your boy Big OT back in another video today. So I want to talk about the whole Captain America issue that I saw on Facebook a couple of months back. Basically, people saying, "Oh, they were pissed about everyone's not being Cap anymore and all that blah blah blah." I'm like, it doesn't matter if Evans isn't doing Cap anymore. He can do whatever. Like I said, it's pretty much his decision to do whatever he wants to do, which he can. And everybody's got a beef with that. I'm like, who gives a? Because you're basically saying, oh, you rather have him become Cap instead of what happened at the Endgame and then blow it up like a big freaking issue, like it's not and it isn't. To me, that's more of fans being more of assholes than the respect that they should have, because you look at it and you think, okay, it's not a big deal. It's just somebody transitioning into a new thing, and somebody has become Cap, which we already know. And after, if people have seen that game, they were smart, you would know what happened already, and we get that. We figured that out from day one. And some people don't get it because they don't see it as a problem. They see it more as a temporary non-solution, like, oh, we know what happened because we knew it from the start. Like, somebody's gonna make up some fake ass bullshit, like, okay, we know what really happened. You can't make this shit up, and you lying to themselves. And I'm like, no, screw you, for one, because we know that when people have contracts with this stuff, they know they expire. People know that. They just don't seem to care enough to say, okay, let's not make this an issue, which it isn't. But some people would really bash other people for it, like, oh, this is a problem, this shouldn't be said. I'm like, who gives a crap? Because at this point, you look at it from perspective, like, what? You know that most of that's not a problem. And you say to yourself, okay, if we knew it was going to be a problem, people giving so much crud about the whole Cap issue, saying, oh, here's Stan Cap, let's make a big deal of it. It's not a big deal, people. It's not a big deal that Evans is stepping down as Cap. It's not like it's a big deal at all. If he doesn't want to continue it, he doesn't have to. Basically, after Endgame, what we saw pretty much said the next person to take over, which we already knew, we figured out. We didn't know at first. When we saw the movie, we didn't know what the outcome of it was going to be. We figured out that just from what we know and what we've seen so far, we got. And I don't think it's a big deal that somebody who's done this for so long has so many problems come to it. It's like, get over yourself, because it's just the way it goes. And I think people overreact too much with that. I think people would say, oh, okay, this is a problem. Nobody should have done this and that, but that's not making an issue. Let's make it a solution. And I think there's a solution to it, because if you think of it, the way they did the Marvel Universe and the way the MCU was set up, I think they did it in the proper way. I don't think they messed anything up. I think they did everything the right way they wanted to do. I think the way it ended is the way they ended it. And with more to come, it's going to be out of this world, I think. But looking at that now and what the future holds with MCU is going to be good. I think there's a lot to come to it just based on what I've seen out of Endgame and out of everything else that I've seen. It's like there's a lot to say to it. Like, there's some good stuff coming. It's not any negative. It's all good stuff coming out of the MCU now. Like, we figured there's something good coming out of it. We just never figured, what it would be. It's just the way we predicted, the way we saw it. Like, we figured there'd be some kind of big outcome out of Endgame. There'd be some kind of drama coming out of it, and it did. And there's a lot of it coming out of it now to what we already saw. And the people that blow up Facebook about the whole Captain America issue is kind of ridiculous. It's like, somebody else can take his place, which we've seen. If that's not permanent for that person, which everybody should know, then somebody else can take that torch, because I thought it was going to be the other person to do that, and I thought that originally. I thought that person was going to take that position as the new Cap, but as we previously stated, it never happened. So it was kind of a surprise to see this person get the torch handed down from Cap to the next person. I think Cap should just be happy the way he is, and whatever happens after that with the other person, when they went to go see C2 back, when he went back, there's a lot of good coming out of that. I think there's a lot of more story to be told. I think there's more to be said than just give it justice. I think there's more to the topic than there is to see, because I think people overreact too much about it. When you think of it, you look at every movie that they've done in the MCU now, and you think to yourself, and you predict, like, what could work for them that still keeps them on a high level of what we expect them to do, which is pure excellence. It's not like they're disappointing the fans at all. They're not disappointing MCU at all. They're not disappointing anybody in particular. They're just making it the way they want to make it, and I think that's a good decision. I don't think taking the negative and mixing it with the positive is going to make it any better. I think just keep it the way it is really ups the game for MCU now, and see what brings to the table, and there's more to it. You know, if people watch the Spider-Man trailer, they know what happens. If you've seen Spider-Man already, then, you know, I've not seen it. I've not seen Dark Phoenix. I need to see that. And Spider-Man has a lot to see. But looking at the MCU right now, I can guarantee there's a lot of good stuff coming out of it. TV series, more movies, more this, more that. And there's a lot of good to come out of it. There's nothing negative about it. I think there's a lot to be said about what the future holds for it. I think that the MCU has a lot of good stuff coming to it. Even if Evans isn't Captain America more, which it's kind of sucks, but it's whatever. We can live with that. I wouldn't put it in any other perspective, like, what would be the biggest, saddest outcome of it if it never happened? If it was a whole different situation, it would still be what it would be still. But today it's different, and we figured that out already. So we know what everybody else knows in the MCU, that what's to come after it is going to be some good stuff. And I think the future holds it really well for it. I don't think we're going to be disappointed at all. I think we're going to be really happy to see what it holds next for the next couple years or so with the storylines and stuff, which makes more sense. I think there's going to be a lot of new people coming involved in it. I can guarantee that. I can't get the 100% who's going to be or what's going to be of it. I know there's a lot of new faces coming to it. But just based on what the research I've done and what I've seen and what I've heard, there's a lot more stuff to come that would really make the MCU really more blow up like a big, most social media platform that it is. And it's going to be rocking. I think my prediction down the road is going to be some good films coming out, some good stuff to see, more drama, more action. I think more bit of a storyline. I think there's more to it. But looking at what I've seen and what movies I, have seen and haven't seen yet, I think there's going to be more of a proper introduction to new characters and to new heroes and some villains that really takes it to the top. Like, looking at Fantastic Four, it's the whole new cast for that. They're going to introduce that eventually, I think not this year, but the year after or whatever, but the year before it. In the coming years they will, but they're not going to introduce Avengers with that just yet. They're going to hold the fun for right now. But for now, they will focus on Spider-Man. They will focus on what they need to focus on. And then from there, we will see what we expect to see, which is greatness. And I have plenty of hopes for it. No issues with it whatsoever. But as always, it's a pleasure to talk about it, and it makes a big outcome in the MCU. So, and as always, this is your boy Vic G. Like and subscribe to this video, leave it in the comments down below. Until then, I love MCU.